I made a video about the 6 whys, about how you get to the root of what a trigger is. I'm going to actually show you a real life scene, me going through my brain. So here's the deal. Welcome to EtherealHeal, my virtual playground where we woosah, we marinate, and we do an energetic vibe check. And today my vibe, I was pissed, okay? Not for long though, but I want to tell you the thought process that I had to go through to get myself out of that funk. And why is this important? It's important because how many times a day does stuff bother you, frustrate you, anger you, sadden you, whatever, and then not everybody, but quite often we don't deal with that emotion, we bury it, and then another situation will come up and we'll react a certain way that really doesn't fit that situation, but I mean on the outside, but there was something that triggered us to react that way. And remember, a trigger is going to be a response based on something that has happened in the past. And over time, those triggers can almost become patterned behaviors. Let's say you're watching a Netflix film, okay? When you're watching it, you might laugh, you might cry, you might have fear, but the doorbell could ring, and whatever emotion you're feeling, it's going to go away because you're not really attached to the show. I mean, in the moment, you're experiencing those emotions, but you're not attached. You got up, you went to the door, neighbor talked, whatever, not a big deal, versus if you were actually going through said emotion. And usually, side note, if you were sitting in your home crying and very upset and someone came to the door, you'd probably real quick put on a mask and no one would even ever know. We wear masks quite often. And my goal is, this is me. And I don't want to wear a mask. I just want to be me. And if you don't like it, that's not my issue. That's a whole nother topic as well. Here we go. So I want you to imagine how you can, I have part of me that's, I'm going to call it the observer, okay? You're going to tell the observer is going to be very calm, asking all the questions. Then I'm going to have the other part of me that's reacting, the emotional side. The observer, remember, it's just like if you're watching a Netflix film, you're not attached to the emotions, but you get it. You understand what's going on. You understand sadness. You understand fear. You can even feel it, but you're not attached. That's who the observer is. Okay, now I want you to watch this. I'm sitting at my desk, and I noticed that majority of the staff is off. Just me and the supervisor are going to be there just for a few hours. Other people will come. But the point is, in the past, I had an issue with my tire. I couldn't drive my car. There was one person off. I got pulled in the office twice, questioned, can you drop your car off and have an Uber bring you to work? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you take it another day? This was an emergency situation, and all this hem and hawing is going on, and we weren't even understaffed. And so like the last few weeks, you know, it's the holidays and stuff like that, but all these people are taking off, and, you know, I feel like management always wants to talk about ratios, you know, staff ratios. They don't seem to fucking apply when I need time off, or vice versa. They go out the window when everybody's trying to take off. I don't know, but I had to give you that side piece to understand. When I saw those people off, I reacted based on a previous pattern behavior because of an experience multiple times of people being off, and I'm left there. You know, it falls on the few that are left. That's what I felt. Again, I'm getting shit on again. So I could feel my chest starting to do that like excited thing, and it was tightening up. Observer, Michelle, why are you mad? Because I'm sick of this shit. They keep doing this, and it's not fair. I love to say that. Okay, but what can you do about it? Well, I can say something because when I want off, it's a lot of problems, but when other people want off, it's not a big deal. Okay, what will that get you? Well, nothing. They need to know how I feel. Observer. Do they? Emotions. Well, it's just not fair, and then I got stuck. What am I going to do about it? Nothing. Is complaining going to make people stay and not have their time off? No. Do they really care what I think? Hell fucking no. So all I'm going to do is get agitated, and I'm the one putting that frustration and anger on myself for what? I wasn't going to do anything about it. And then here's another question the observer says. Why are you so upset? You come in, you do your job, you do the best that you can, and you leave. Even if it's not as many people, you just do the best you can like you do every other time. Damn. I couldn't say nothing. What am I trying to show you? Oh my gosh, it's been 7 minutes. What am I trying to show you? We react to things because of past experiences. Is a triggering mechanism that happens that brings up that past feeling. If I know, regardless of how many people are there, long as I come in, do my job, do the best that I can, that's all I can do. Why be mad about it? Just come in and do the job. But do you see, the anger was rooted in not being fair because of a previous experience that had happened with me. And I felt singled out. I wonder if that experience had never happened, would I be that worried about who gets off and who's not, and who's left behind? We could go down a rabbit hole. It doesn't matter. The issue is, and this is what I want to show you, when you are faced with a situation, when you're faced with a trigger, and I'm talking about when you've been betrayed, I'll have to make another video on that. Shit will trigger the fuck out of you. And you don't even know, you may not even know why. That's why when it happens, look at the situation, get that observer out, have a breakdown, ask the 6 whys. Why are you mad? And when you get closer down to the root, you realize a lot of that surface level stuff is just pattern behaviors. What if you broke those pattern behaviors? Who would benefit? You. That headache, that panic, tightness in the chest, the stress, the anxiety. But I have to tell myself, everybody's at a different state in their life. And if we can just understand that triggers are like a signpost telling us an area that we need to strengthen within ourselves. And the more you build that muscle of becoming aware of what is triggering you, the more control you have over your response. The emotion can come up whenever. But once you've had that awareness brought to it because of the different questions that you've asked yourself, now you've got that power. And when I tell you the peace that comes from not being agitated by every little thing, it's a freedom, it's a peace. And I just want more people to experience it. I get it. But your health, your well-being, your self-love, everything about you is not worth constantly living in a state of, I don't know how everybody's living, but I'm just saying, there's a lot of freedom that comes with a perspective shift. On that note, remember, perspective is everything. And the frequency you vibe at is the energy that you will attract. Peace.